In the heart of darkness, where shadows dance and raindrops whisper secrets, lies a world of spine-chilling tales waiting to be untold. Welcome viewers to J&M Paranormal, where we dare to venture into the chilling unknown. Tonight, as the rain pours, we gather to share the most bone-chilling, blood-curdling stories that will haunt your dreams. Gather around, for in the rain's embrace, secrets are revealed, mysteries come alive, and nightmares are born. Join us on this spine-tingling journey as we explore scary stories told in the rain. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you never miss a chilling tale. Get ready to be thrilled or chilled to the bone. In the small town of Hollowbrook, there was an old circus that had been abandoned for years. The townspeople spoke of strange occurrences happening near the site, but it was the tale of a malevolent clown that sent shivers down their spines. They called him Grinsworth, and his face was etched in the nightmares of those who dared to speak his name. Legend had it that Grinsworth was the star attraction of the circus in its heyday, a clown who brought joy and laughter to the crowds. But something changed within him, and he became obsessed with the idea of eternal youth and immortality. In his madness, he sought dark and forbidden knowledge, delving into occult rituals to achieve his twisted desires. One stormy night, a group of curious teenagers, fueled by rumors and a desire for thrills, decided to explore the abandoned circus. As they ventured into the crumbling big top, they felt an eerie presence surrounding them. The wind howled, and the sound of rustling fabric sent chills down their spines. Suddenly, a flickering light revealed Grinsworth standing before them. His face was painted in grotesque colors, his eyes hollow and piercing. A malevolent grin stretched across his face as he cackled menacingly. The teens tried to flee, but they found themselves trapped, surrounded by an unseen force. Grinsworth's voice echoed in their minds, a haunting melody that paralyzed them with fear. One by one, he toyed with their fears, revealing their deepest insecurities and using them against them. The clown's presence seemed to warp reality itself, turning the funhouse mirrors into portals to their nightmares. Terrifying images filled their minds, each more ghastly than the last. As the night wore on, the circus seemed to come alive, with sinister laughter echoing through the air and ghostly apparitions dancing on the fringes of vision. Grinsworth's malevolence grew with each passing moment, his hunger for the teenagers' fear evident in every gesture and word. But amidst the terror, one brave girl, Lily, found an old, dusty book hidden within the circus grounds. It spoke of a ritual that could banish the malevolent spirit of Grinsworth forever. Lily knew that this was their only chance to survive the nightmarish ordeal. With trembling hands, she began the ritual, chanting incantations to confront the clown's malevolence. Grinsworth's laughter turned to fury as he fought against the spell's power. The ground shook, and the air crackled with energy as the battle between good and evil played out. Finally, with a blinding flash of light, Grinsworth's twisted form was engulfed in darkness, vanishing into the void. The oppressive atmosphere lifted, and the teens found themselves standing in the abandoned circus, safe but shaken. The malevolent clown was gone, but his memory would haunt their dreams for years to come. From that day on, the old circus remained undisturbed, a place shrouded in mystery and fear. The townspeople knew better than to approach it, for they feared that Grinsworth's malevolent spirit might still linger, waiting to trap unwary souls in his nightmarish grasp. And so, the tale of the Clown of Hollowbrook became a cautionary tale, a warning never to play with the darkness that lurks in the abandoned places of the world. In the small, secluded town of Blackwood, nestled deep within a dense forest, an eerie silence hung over its eerie streets. The townspeople lived their lives with an air of caution, for they knew about the cult that lurked in the shadows, a religious sect that worshipped an ancient and malevolent deity. For generations, the cult of the Crimson Serpent had maintained its grip on Blackwood, invoking fear and reverence in equal measure. Their leader, the enigmatic High Priestess, was said to possess supernatural powers, able to communicate with the serpentine god that they worship. One moonlit night, a brave investigative journalist named Bailey arrived in Blackwood to unravel the secrets of the cult. Armed with determination and curiosity, Bailey began to delve into the town's dark history. The townspeople were hesitant to speak of the cult, but whispers in the night told of chilling rituals that occurred in the depths of the forest. Bailey's investigations led her to an old, decaying mansion on the outskirts of Blackwood, the rumored epicenter of the cult's activities. As she approached the ominous building, she felt an overwhelming sense of dread, but her resolve remained unshaken. The mansion seemed to leer at her, its windows like soulless eyes watching her every move. Inside the mansion, Bailey discovered a hidden chamber filled with disturbing relics and symbols, a shrine to the Crimson Serpent. The walls were adorned with cryptic scriptures and paintings of grotesque rituals. The air was thick with the scent of incense, mingled with the iron tang of blood. As Bailey continued her investigation, she encountered the cult's followers, zealots dressed in blood-red robes adorned with the serpent symbol. Their eyes were hollow, and their devotion to the High Priestess was unquestionable. Bailey soon realized she was not alone in the mansion. The cult had been alerted to her presence. She tried to flee, but the cultists pursued her through the labyrinthine corridors of the mansion. Trapped and terrified, Bailey stumbled upon a hidden door that led to an underground catacomb, the heart of the cult's rituals. There, she witnessed a chilling scene, a congregation of cultists, encircling the High Priestess and a massive statue of the Crimson Serpent. The serpent's eyes seemed to flicker with an otherworldly glow. Bailey's heart pounded in her chest as she hid behind a crumbling pillar, praying to remain undetected. The High Priestess raised a ceremonial dagger, and the cultists chanted in a macabre rhythm. In a terrifying ritual, they offered a sacrifice, a helpless villager abducted from the town. Bailey watched in horror as the life force was drained from the poor soul, feeding the malevolent deity. The sacrifice complete, the Crimson Serpent statue appeared to come alive, its eyes blazing with unholy fire. Bailey's breath caught in her throat, and she knew she had to escape before she became the cult's next offering. With a courage born of desperation, Bailey managed to slip away from the catacombs and back into the forest. But the cult was relentless in its pursuit. The deeper she ventured into the woods, the more she felt the malevolent presence of the Crimson Serpent surrounding her. As Bailey stumbled through the dense underbrush, she saw eerie apparitions lurking between the trees, shadowy figures with glowing eyes and serpentine forms. She could feel the cult closing in on her, their chilling chants echoing through the night. Finally, Bailey reached the outskirts of Blackwood, exhaustion and terror weighing heavily on her. She knew she had to warn the world about the cult's existence, about the ancient evil that dwelled in the heart of the forest. With the rising sun, she made her way to the nearest town, where she shared her harrowing tale with the authorities and journalists alike. News of the cult of the Crimson Serpent spread like wildfire, and an investigation was launched to dismantle the sect and put an end to their malevolent rituals. But even with the cult disbanded, the legend of the Crimson Serpent continued to haunt the town of Blackwood. For those who had witnessed its horrors, the memory lingered like a nightmare, a chilling reminder of the darkness that can take root in the hearts of the devout and the dangers of religious fanaticism gone awry. In the small town of Ravenswood, a quiet darkness lurked beneath the surface. Residents went about their daily lives, unaware of the malevolent presence that stalked their streets at night. For years, a serial killer had been haunting the town, leaving a trail of terror in their wake. The locals referred to the killer as the Shadow, for they struck under the cover of darkness and left no trace behind. No one knew their identity, and fear had gripped the community in its icy hold. The police were baffled, unable to connect the dots between the seemingly random victims. One fateful night, the moon hung low, casting an eerie glow upon the streets of Ravenswood. In a quaint, old-fashioned neighborhood, a young woman named Emily found herself walking home alone after a late shift at the local diner. Unbeknownst to her, the Shadow had been watching, waiting for the perfect moment to strike. As Emily rounded a dimly lit corner, a chilling gust of wind ruffled her hair, and she sensed a sinister presence lingering nearby. Her heart raced, but she tried to convince herself it was just her imagination playing tricks. She quickened her pace, clutching her phone tightly in her trembling hand. Just when she thought she was safe, she heard a faint whisper behind her. "Emily," it hissed, sending shivers down her spine. Emily glanced over her shoulder and saw a fleeting shadow among the trees, a figure that seemed to melt into the darkness. Terror consumed her, and she broke into a desperate run, but the shadowy figure was quick on her heels, closing the distance with each step. Emily's breaths grew ragged, and her feet pounded against the pavement as she desperately searched for any sign of help. But the streets were deserted, and the only sounds were her frantic gasps and the haunting laughter of her relentless pursuer. Panic gripped her heart as she realized there was no escape from the Shadow's grasp. Finally, with her strength waning, Emily spotted a flickering light ahead, the local church. Desperation guided her there, hoping for sanctuary within its walls. As she reached the entrance, she banged on the wooden door, begging for someone to let her in. A lone priest, Father Thomas, opened the door with a puzzled expression. "What's the matter, my child?" he asked. "There's someone following me. Please, help me," Emily pleaded, tears streaming down her face. Father Thomas pulled her inside and locked the door behind them. He could sense the genuine fear in Emily's eyes and knew that something truly sinister lurked outside. Together, they peered out of the church's windows. In the pale moonlight, they caught a glimpse of the Shadow's ominous silhouette, watching them from a distance. The priest's face turned grave as he whispered, "The night will pass, and the sun will bring safety." Hour after hour, they huddled together, praying for dawn to break. The sounds of distant sirens echoed through the town, indicating that the police were on the hunt for the elusive killer. But the Shadow remained, playing a chilling game of cat and mouse with the authorities. As the first rays of dawn painted the sky, the Shadow retreated into the shadows, vanishing like a ghost. Emily's fear began to subside, replaced with gratitude for Father Thomas and the safety of the church. But the nightmare wasn't over. The sun's light revealed a chilling truth. The walls of the church were adorned with haunting symbols and cryptic messages, all hinting at the existence of a sinister cult that had long been manipulating Ravenswood from the shadows. The revelation sent shivers down Emily's spine, knowing that the Shadow was not acting alone. The cult's presence meant that the horror would continue, and no one in Ravenswood would ever be truly safe. From that day on, The town lived in perpetual fear, always looking over their shoulders, wondering if the shadow would strike again. As the unsolved murders piled up, the legend of the serial killer grew, perpetuating a cycle of terror that Ravenwood couldn't break free from, a chilling reminder that evil can exist anywhere, even in the most unsuspecting places.